Right, I've come out to one of my sites that I like to use. Got everything hung up out in the trees there. Whenever you're try to keep everything off the ground if you can, because there's a lot of bugs around. But as you can see, when I cut the trees, I leave pieces sticking out like that, so it's very easy to hang your pack up and all your gear in the tree. Real easy. Just put your pole through the handles, job done. All your food and everything's up off the ground. Bugs ain't gonna get into there. Now, as sod's law would have it, I just seen my first mosquito. As sod's law would have it, the only ice is around my fire site. Isn't that weird? Yeah, there's a big pile of snow over there, which once I finish filming this next bit, I will go and fill my bucket with snow, because although everything is absolutely soaked, fire is always #1 responsibility. A little bucket that I had out here, I always have these little things here, fire, soak and stir bucket. I put about half water in that last year, and as you can see, it didn't freeze over winter and destroy the container. So I always like to have containers hidden away, so that it's good for your fire stuff and what have you. So a few rocks there falling off my pile by the look of it. I will sort those out. I will get rid of this bloody mosquito, first mosquito of the season. But what I'm going to do is just show you how to make the best saw bench for bushwork. Right? I see people cutting it, putting it under their knees and all that kind of crap, and anybody that follows my videos will know that that's absolutely my pet hate. Don't ever do that, because if you bust your knee in the middle of nowhere, you really don't want to. I'm about 5 kilometers back to anything like civilization, so with a broken knee, trust me, that's a real problem. So this is the best way to make a sawhorse. What you do is you take a branch like this one, sharpen a point on it, bang it in the ground, bit of lashing onto a tree to make a little peg, and all you want is a piece just sticking out like this, just a small piece. Then when you're cutting, you can put your boot on there like that, cut up your little logs into whatever size you want. Hey presto, firewood. So I will put that on here. See if I can do this without this falling over. Everything is really icy, I do apologise. Everything's really icy today. It's this time of the year. Let's see if I can move that. I didn't bring a tripod with me, so I do have all this stuff kind of balancing on things, so I'll show you the best way to do this. The best saw, of course, to use, not that I'm biased in any way, shape or form, is the Silky. So just put your boot on it. You can process a lot of firewood very quickly with minimal effort, and more importantly, minimal risk. I think you'd have to agree, you can't get much easier than that. Now once you get down to these shorter pieces like this, it's a bit more of a pain in the ass, but it can still be done. Boot on, up against the tree. Keep this. There we go. Right, easy, isn't it? And all that is a stick banged in the ground, lashed to a tree. Make sure when you leave to untie this, you do not want to be strangling a perfectly good tree. Tree does not appreciate it. So there's my firewood. That's pretty much all I should need. I'm going to clear off some of these small dead bits. As anybody that follows me knows, I like to clear off all this low-hanging dead stuff. Just opens up the forest, lets a bit of light in, and reduces ground fire hazard too. So I will grab a few bunches of those, and as soon as I've got something sorted, I'll get back to you. Right. I'm going to head over there and I'm going to collect me a bucket of snow. Right, so fire pile is built. Just got a few logs in the base as usual. We're going to work from this side because there's less ice. I've got some small pieces here, a few bits and pieces laying in here, and early season mosquitoes are beginning to get up my nose already. So let's see if I can get one spark to land on my tinder. we go, looks like we're away. Some of these small bits on here. I want to just loosely put stuff on the top. It should be enough to get that going. Right, as I always say, make sure you put your tools away as soon as you finish with it. These all live in a waterproof container, which lives inside of my pack. Let's pay attention to this and get it going. As you can see, although the forest still has a lot of snow in it, and it has snowed and even rained quite a bit in the last little while, but always bear in mind forests are very, very dry. So first rule of lighting a fire is once you light it, it is your fire, you are responsible for it. Whatever it does is your responsibility. So keep an eye on it. I'm quite lucky today because I've actually got this good ring of ice around here. Once this fire gets going, it will melt a lot of that. But I have a bucket of snow. I have my fire bucket that I just showed you, and I have this one too. I tend to hide these out here, fire soak and stir, always do that. The ice that was in the fire, I dug it out and put it in my fire bucket. It's going to melt anyway, so I might as well do my fire bucket. My fire bucket is full of snow, so not too worried about that. This stuff burns real well. And the advantage of getting that fire going is mosquitoes hate it. So I should be able to get this going fairly easy. This is my first fire of the camping season at this site. This is the one that I quite often try to get to. But the snow over there is still 2 feet deep. Where I just filled my bucket up, it's easy 2 foot of snow in it. But we had a heavy snowfall through here a little while ago, actually, last week before, and here we are in May, and this is the first time I've been able to actually get out here since back end of last year. So I will let that do its thing. I will turn this camera off here for a second just to get this fire going, get some heat in here. Like I say, fire safety is always number one. Once you light a fire, it's your fire. So I have a bucket of actual water and I have a bucket of snow, and I'm surrounded by snow. Yeah, like I say, last year in Alberta, 2/3 of the fires were actually caused by people. Now if you look into these trees, they're all bone dry. Sap hasn't really started to rise much in these trees, I can tell you. You get heat up in there, that canopy will burn real fast. Up north of here at the moment, they actually have, up near Fort McMurray, they're actually on an evacuation warning again. A few years ago, the entire town burnt down. 2,500 homes all burnt down, businesses, hotels, everything, you name it. But up near Fort McMurray, there's a major fire burning up there at the moment, and it's only 16 kilometres from town. The good thing is, all the stuff that burnt out the other year is obviously not going to burn this year. But it's still, wildfire is still a huge problem. People underestimate it. So anytime you light a fire, it's your fire, your responsibility. Make sure you look after it. But once I get this going, I will do some more later. Right, fire is going. It brought with me a really yummy orange today. That is good. This is the size of the fire that I like to have. If it's in the middle of winter and this is all 2 feet of snow, you can light a bigger fire, what have you. But I like to try and keep them as small as I can. But, that in there, that's just going to burn through that lot. There's a whole bunch of carbon in the bottom of there from last year. It's starting to get down into the bottom branches there, bottom logs. I'm not having a huge fire. This is what I call a rest and recuperation fire. There's actually something very good about just like coming out, sitting in the middle of nowhere, having a campfire and swatting mosquitoes. Got him. So you don't need a huge fire. A lot of people, when they come out, they do stuff like this. They build these massive fires and flames this high and all the rest of it. Well, it's actually fairly hard to control a fire once it gets to that big. You've got to be really careful. So I will just keep it small. I don't want too much smoke, but I want enough to really naff the mosquitoes off. I bought a bunch of trail mix with me today. I didn't bring any food to cook with me today. It's like I say, this is a rest and recuperation campfire. A lot of people like to go and sit in the sunshine, recuperate and all that kind of stuff. I'd rather come and sit in the forest in the middle of nowhere. But let me just put a few more small bits on there. Once you get the heat into these big pieces of wood, the rest of it just takes care of itself. This is a top out of a tree. This wasn't here last year. This is falling out of one of these. Not sure which one it fell out of. As you can see, it's still a little bit green in there. Not as dry as it looks. This one is though. Let's get some of those slightly bigger bits in there. They'll flare up a bit and then the bigger bits will get going. That is all there is to it. Like I say, that is the best way to cut firewood. That's the best sawhorse you can ever make. That one over there. It's absolutely brilliant. It's really simple to do. Like I say, always make sure when you go, just undo the string. I actually leave this branch here. I just take it off, untie it from around the tree and just wrap the cord around the end of the branch here so it's there. I've got some more there. I have some stashed over here from last year. These have overwintered fairly good. This little pile under here, that's my emergency stack. If I get out here and it's like blowing a blizzard in the middle of winter and I'm freezing cold, I have everything I need in that pile to make a decent fire and to get some heat. You'll see I have, the other thing I like to do is these. See how tall those are? Always stand them in the tree like that. They're up out the ground, out the snow. So in the winter, if I come through here and I need firewood like right now, there's enough in that one branch there to actually get me a decent sized fire going. So I will let that die down a little touch. I just want to get the heat into the logs in the bottom. Once those bigger logs in the bottom start to burn, then I don't have to worry about it. It'll do its own thing there. So let me set this up over here. Now I do have, because it's this time of the year, my bear spray. Always make sure you've got your bear spray handy, because they are waking up. It's always handy for cutting wood. Everything else is hanging up in the tree out the way. But the other advantage of having a bright orange pack like that, head hanging up in the tree, is if there's anybody around here hunting or whatever, that kind of stands out. Yeah. That's easy to spot in the forest, eh? That's very easy to spot. If you can't see that, there's a problem. Yeah. So, yeah, safety first, always safety first. Fire safety, forest safety. You know, there are people that hunt out here, so I don't think it's actually hunting season at the moment, so that's good. But that doesn't necessarily mean there's nobody out here hunting, if you get my drift. So always make sure you're ready. But, I say bear spray ready to go. I've got 2 with me today. But the bears are awake. They're a bit groggy. They've been hibernating and what have you for most of winter. So they're waking up. They're hungry. They need something to eat. But they can eat something else, not me. Yeah. Right. I will stop rabbiting. I will put a few more little bits on this fire and go from there. Right. Just found another little pile. A log that I think would actually make another nice firewood. Further ado, turn it into firewood. One thing you can do is you can actually put 2 sticks like this in the ground and do it that way. I don't tend to, because I can do it just as well this way. I have seen people set these up at this height so that you can work like this, but it's personal preference. I find I don't have too much trouble. Doing it this way. That should be plenty of fibre, actually more than I need. What I'm going to do is restock my pile over here, and I won't be burning all of that today, but I will restock my pile so I have more. Let me set that up and do that. This stuff's been drying for a year or more now. Keep using my pile. That one. A few bits on there. Break the shape up a bit. Not that anybody walking through the forest couldn't see that. If you can walk through a forest and you can't see that, that's a problem. Yeah. It'd be blatantly obvious that this is a campsite. However, not a bad idea to make sure you have enough stuff ready to go for the next time. I'd used up quite a bit out of there last time. So. That one's a bit big. I'll make that smaller. This is where having the twin log really helps, because cutting a big one like this, it's not as easy. that smells really good. That piece of wood is about 30 years old. Let me bring it over. Now, I don't know how well this will come out on the camera. Apologies if it doesn't come out too well. But you can see, looking at this log, I've said in some of my videos, when they first clear, because this was all replant, when they first clear an area, the trees grow really, really fast. If you look at the growth rings for about the first 10 years, look how big they are. Grow really fast. So this tree, from seedling to 10 years, which is about there, that grew really, really fast. So that tree would have grown to 10 foot pretty quick. And as you can see, they start to get much, much thinner as you go down. So that first 10 was there, second 10 is to about there, and the last 10 are really close together. So that tree is about 30 years old, and it yeah, gives you an idea how fast regrowth is. Look at that, grows real fast there, which is good. That's what you want. So that special log, that one can go in my pile as well. That one can go down the bottom there, I think. Put that in there. Excellent. So I have wood set up. Like I say, when you come out to an area, I like to have about that much, which is enough to get me a fire going. That's 3 or 4 hours worth of firewood for the size of fires that I have. That's 3 or 4 hours worth of firewood right there. I don't need huge amounts. In the winter, if it's minus 30, that's enough to get a fire going. If it's minus 30, you need big stuff. You need stuff as round as the tree it's leaning against. But I try to avoid doing that, because you're using a huge amount of wood. You know, for one overnight camp, you're actually using a huge amount of wood. But what I like to do is thin it out. I do have some pictures of when I first came here. You look at all these trees, all these lower branches I thinned out all around here. I thinned this side of this one off. I've left the other side. 2 reasons. Firstly, that camouflages my bench logs and my bench seat when it's in there, so that makes it harder to see. And I don't want anybody cutting up my bench logs, which are those ones down there. I don't want people cutting those up for firewood if they come. I'm sure people know where this site is. Although I haven't seen any other foot traffic up through here. A lot of deer up through here. There's loads of deer up through here. There's deer crap everywhere. But I haven't seen any other footprints up through here. But I've no doubt there will be. So at some stage somebody will find it. But I've got these sites like this hidden away all over the show. This one's rather nice because I have a bench. Yeah, but I do have them hidden away all over the show. So if I'm out camping, I can come out to an area. This is actually fairly hard to get to. It's not an easy spot to find. It's not an easy spot to get to, so you don't tend to find too much foot traffic out this way. But my snow bucket is slowly melting. It's disappearing down in there a little bit. If I was to stand it next to the fire, I'm sure it would melt a lot faster. But all I need is moisture and cold. When you put snow on a fire, it's actually really, really good, because what happens is a fire needs 3 things. You know, it needs oxygen, fuel and heat. And if you can rob the fire of heat by putting snow on it, that really helps. As the snow melts, it turns into water, and that helps put the fire out. So snow is actually really good for putting out fires. Really, really good, because it cools and makes it all wet at the same time. Stops the chain reaction happening. So some of this ice around here will melt. I'm just going to push all those ends of sticks in, because it's burnt out all the middle of the sticks. Just going to push all the ends in and do some more in a bit. I need some more food. I just had my orange. I have a nice big bag of trail mix in there. Just about to start that. Whew. Got my mosquito repellent. Yeah, aka campfire smoke. Works great. Yeah, people can always tell when I've been out in the mountains, because as soon as they see me, they go, "Oh yeah, campfire." Right, I will push all those ends in and do some more later. Well, the day is progressing on. It's been rather nice just sitting there taking care of the fire. My big logs are pretty much gone, as you can see. It's just a few ends. I've just turned the ends round and put a few small sticks on there. That's why it's just flared up. Just put that on there, let it do its thing. I've untied my sawhorse over here, my wood up in the tree there. But what I do, just take the cord off, tie it around the end like that, just loosely, so it's ready to go for the next time. I don't like leaving it tied around the tree, because it can cut into the tree. I don't like to do that. Everything else is good. You had something to eat, finished up your trail mix, all that stuff up there. Just burning off these, the last bit of these big logs. I say big, a couple of inches round, only a few inches round. I don't like to leave unburnt firewood in a fire pit. A few little ends I don't mind, but I don't like to leave logs laying in there. But I will let those do their thing. I say it's been a small fire. As you can see, there's still some ice in the bottom of that fire there. So, yeah, it's only been a small fire, so I will let this burn down. Probably take about another hour, I guess, before it's pretty much done, and then I will head out. I'll do some more later. Okay, bench and everything is away, all my buckets are away. I've just put 2 5-gallon buckets of snow on here, stomped it all around, wetted it all down, stirred it all up. I don't know how many times I've stirred it. Not that I'm paranoid, but I must have stirred it 10 times at least. Yeah, it's all soaked right down, walked all over it. As you can see, nice footprints all the way through. Still surrounded by a nice layer of ice. We do have rain coming, so again, just another thing. Just going to wait about another 10 minutes or so, have a drink of water, and then tip out half my water onto there as well. Not that I'm paranoid, but I'm going to put half my water bottle on there as well. As if 10 gallons of snow isn't enough. Right, wood piles are partially covered. That one's there. I've taken the string off of that one just so it's not wrapped around the tree, and then I'm going to head out. Thank you for coming along. Another day sat in the forest, unwinding. It's a good day, I tell you. Any day sat in the forest is a good day. Right, on I go.